All right, just finished jiu-jitsu. I haven't done a jiu-jitsu vlog in a while. I just finished class, and it's one of those days, man, where you know you just haven't been putting in all the work, and you just haven't been consistent, and everybody just beats you up. And my professor spoke to me afterwards, and he told me that I have to show up more, and he doesn't want to see me get bypassed by other students that are not in the same belt level as me, which goes to show belt level doesn't really mean anything. It just means that you've gone for a long time, for some time, but it doesn't really say how good you are, because someone can easily train harder than you, train more than you, and even if you're in a higher belt level, they will be better than you. It really is just the consistency of the training, and it's very reflective of everything else that you do. If you stop doing something, then that thing will stop being good, whether that be your mind, your discipline. If you stop being disciplined, then you're not going to be disciplined. Like, it's a mental muscle. If you stop training jiu-jitsu, then eventually you're not going to be that good. You're going to have some base knowledge, but that's all you're really going to have, is just that base knowledge, and you're just going to get by. You're not going to be able to excel and master this thing. You just haven't put enough reps in. So tonight's one of those nights, man, where you just get beat up, you know, like everybody that you roll with. Even on the rolls that you win, you know that you put in a lot more work than you would usually if you just trained harder. You know, you'd be a lot more efficient if you were just more consistent. It really is what it is. And yeah, tonight's just one of those nights, man, where it's like those memes where you're driving home after getting beat up in jiu-jitsu, and you just think about your life, and you question yourself. And that's the thing, man. In every areas of life, in all the things that you do, you have to be consistent. You have to do your best, because if you just half-ass it, you're not gonna feel as great about what you're doing. So it's just how it is, man. And again, this translates to everything. In your relationships with your partner, in your relationships with your family, and running your business, strengthening your mind. It's hard, man. Like going one time to jiu-jitsu or training or whatever, going one time to jiu-jitsu, going 1 week in jiu-jitsu is very easy. But when you start committing to it, going for years and not stopping, that's when it gets very, very hard. Yeah. So I guess this is just my little message to myself, that I need to do my best in everything that I do. Do my best. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing your best in it. Definitely. Here's this turn again. Red light. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, so if you guys are passionate about anything, whether that be honestly anything, you have to do your best in it. If you don't do your best in it, you don't really want it, you don't really love it. You have to prove to it that you love it. Again, that's where the sacrifice comes in, right? It's easy. I would love to just sit on my couch and eat chips all fucking day. And actually, I don't know if I would love that, but that would be easier to do than this. But yeah, if you guys want to get good, like if I can speak for jiu-jitsu, even though I'm just a blue belt, I'm just in that blue belt phase. Been doing this for coming to 3 years now. You have to be consistent. You have to love it. You have to put in the work. Even on the days that you don't love it, you have to choose to love it. Loving something is a decision that you make. It's not, you know, I guess I want to talk about this again. Like, loving something doesn't mean everything's going to be all good and great at all times. That doesn't mean that, you know, because if that's your definition of love, the moment that things get hard and you stop doing it, then your love is weak. You don't know what love is. At least I don't think you know what love is, because that's not the definition that I use for it. No, man, it's this feeling that you just have to work harder. But it's good. Every single time I go to class and train hard, I feel really good. I feel really, really good. I never regret a workout, not even once. You know, when you work out and you feel that high, that's what it feels so good. It feels so good after a workout. But to achieve that feeling is what's hard. To do that training that night, that morning, is what's hard. But the feeling afterwards is so worth it. You get so much clarity. The mats don't lie, man. The mats will tell you the truth. When you roll somebody better than you, like, that's the truth. If they're beating you up, that's the truth. You're not good enough. You're not as good as you think you are. And the only way to be better is, number one, it's not even about competition. It's just to be fucking better, like, than yourself yesterday. Everybody says that, but I don't think enough people give it merit. Like, you have to be better than the person you were yesterday, even if it's just a percentage better. You have to be better than the person you were yesterday. Because the only competition that you have, man, it's not even the guys that you're competing with. It's not even the guys that you're training with. It's you versus yourself, man. Nobody's gonna be the best you. Nobody's gonna beat you at being you. And what's scary is that, this is kind of what scares me, is to know what my potential is, and at the end of my life know that I didn't make, and at the end of my life know that I didn't reach that potential. That's what's scary. I remember this quote from Coach Carter. I think it's that movie. He says, something about fear. I'm trying to remember it. I'm probably gonna butcher it. We don't fear that we're inadequate. We fear that we have power. We're powerful beyond measure. Something along those lines. And yeah, it's true, because you don't really know how good you are. You don't really know what your potential is until you start going for it. And you're never going to reach that potential, because you can always be better. But you can know that you gave it your all, to one day when you pass from this world, you can look at God, or not even look at God, but but God, you know, maybe can tell you that, hey, like, you gave it your all, man. Like, good for you. I feel like that's what heaven would feel like. I'm kind of remembering, I think this is what David Goggins said in his last chapter in his book, is that his definition of heaven is like God saying, man, you fucking killed it. Like, you were the best that you ever were. And yeah, man, one of those days. But anyways, if you guys felt this way before, it's completely normal. And just know that your potential is so much greater than what you think. You can't even really comprehend what you're capable of doing. It's just that you don't believe in yourself. A lot of people believe in you more than you believe in yourself. You know what I mean? A lot more people believe in you than you believe in yourself. You doubt yourself all the time just because you learn to not trust yourself, because maybe you don't, the promises you make yourself, you always break. And I do that like often. I did that probably a couple times this week. Some of the promises that I made myself that I wasn't going to do anymore, I did, even if it's just little promises. Even if it's like, you know, I'm not going to eat that chocolate bar all week, but you end up eating a chocolate bar. I know that's silly, but I feel like that's not silly, because people probably, that's probably what happens to a lot of people all the time. Is just once you give in to that temptation, whether no matter how small it is, once you give into that small temptation, it's going to snowball effect downhill, and you're just gonna give in easily to one thing or another. But it also but that's also the case when when you do something good, when you win. A lot of people have written about this, but that winning feeling, once you have that winning feeling, you can feel that in everything else that you do, and you're gonna feel like you're winning, and you're gonna win in this little thing, and then this like bigger thing, and this bigger thing, and bigger thing, and that becomes a snowball effect, and that becomes that's exponential growth. You're getting momentum. That's what it is. It's like when you're sweeping somebody in jiu-jitsu. Let's say you're in deep half, and you're rocking them back and forth. This might not make sense to many of you, but there's this move called deep half. You're under the guy, and you're screwing with their base. So you're literally controlling them, and they're trying to figure out how to keep balance. They're just finding ways to keep balance, and you're rocking them back and forth. And once you get that momentum, you can rock them in a way where you actually end up on top and they're in the bottom, and you swept the guy. So it's kind of like that. It's that momentum. You need momentum, but momentum goes in two different ways. You can go down, you can go up. You choose how you want it to work for you, but it's just a mechanism that works in all of us. And yeah, hopefully this is making sense to you guys, because this is making sense in my brain, and this kind of the things that I think about, especially after training. It's weird though, because when I think about these things, it's like a split second in my mind, but it takes fucking 13 minutes right now. It takes 13 minutes to explain this feeling that I had, and that's why I recorded this video. So hopefully my little 13-minute talk here made sense to some of you guys, provided maybe value to some of you guys. But that's it. That's what I wanted to share. I'm gonna go upstairs now, have some tea, crash, and then do it all over again. So anyways, guys, hopefully you're having a good day wherever you are in the world. And yeah, God bless you. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.